I'm not feeling too well, so instead of like seeking help or something, I'm just gonna make a video and pretend everything's gonna be fine. So, speed is synonymous with Sonic, right? His defining characteristic is going fast, but speed in almost every Sonic game is a reward. It's a reward for learning the level layout, learning the game and Sonic's physics, and using both of these to beat the stage with as little mistakes as possible. The classics, adventure games, and even boost games where you get your top speed almost immediately, always follow this philosophy, that speed is earned or maintained at the worst case scenario. With all that being said, Sonic having a run button sounds kinda fucking dumb, right? Well, atop of Sonic Lost World's horrible decisions lies the king of them all, and the star of this video, the run button. The run button was implemented in Sonic Lost World to be more accessible, I guess, but also definitely to make it more like a Mario game for the Nintendo kids. But like Mario games, if I have the run button, that means it's not necessary, right? Because, running is now an option, which wasn't before in Sonic games, so it was always essentially mandatory, or at least not easily accessible. So I'm here to answer the question, ask and answer the question, can you beat Sonic Lost World without running? Now before this challenge starts, I want to lay some ground rules. The only thing that is outright banned in this run is the run button. I guess that makes it more of a walk. That means I can't run, parkour, or any other option that is accessible by the press of the run button. Meanwhile, everything else is allowed. Walking, crouching, rolling, spin dashing, homing, attacking, homing, kicking, and wisps are all fair as long as they don't use the run button. Even getting sped up by boosters is acceptable since I myself am not running. There is another thing that I must address, and that is a helper mechanic that Sonic Lost World has, which is the wing, or as I like to call it, the Wing of Shame. The Wing of Shame is a helper mechanic only in Lost World, where if you die enough times, a wing pops up, and if you open it, it teleports you to the next checkpoint. These aren't outright banned, but we will try to keep them at a minimum because, this is a challenge video, and it would be very boring if I just kept going. Well, this segment's pretty fucking hard, so I'm just gonna kill myself 10 times and get over it. So with that being said, let's start this train wreck. We start off at the amazingly named Windy Hill. Green Hill isn't really a hard stage at all. So, with us having the spin dash, which is basically just a faster run, we don't really face any issues. Emerald Hill Zone 1 and 2 are very easy, and I died in Zone 3 because I suck. And Seaside Hill Zone 4 is also very easy. Windy Hill Zone is just a very easy stage for you to get used to not pressing the run button. So with that being said, Windy Hill is done, and we move on to Desert Ruin. Since Desert Ruin Zone 1 was a very open stage, I really expected no issues, but I did remember there was this wall jump segment in the middle, which I was scared for, and then I remember, wait a fucking minute, I'm playing a modern Sonic Team game. Thanks, Sega. I had a handful of moments like this, where my heart just sank, but then an invisible spring picked it up. With some trust issues, we beat Desert Ruin Zone 1, and move on to Zone 2. Zone 2 is an auto run stage, meaning we don't really have anything to worry about. The only thing that was really annoying is that in the skydiving sections, since we don't have the run button, we can't speed up, making this stage borderline fucking eternal. But besides the mild annoyance of not being able to go fast in the air, it's quite doable. Desert Ruins Zone 3, on the other hand, it's also quite easy. And Desert Ruins Zone 4 is an auto-scroller, so I don't really think I have to go in depth with that. They do introduce drill, and they do show us how fucking slower it is without the run button, which is gonna come bite us later in the walk. Regardless, we beat Somon for a second time and we move on to Tropical Coast. Tropical Coast Zone 1 doesn't present any issues. It does introduce these stupid clouds. Not that they're really a threat or anything, I just think they're dumb. Tropical Coast Zone 2 reminded me of how fucking boring and annoying this stage in specific is. No matter if it's with or without the run button, you need to take your time, and it's really slow with these stupid fruits. It is doable though, so we move on to Tropical Zone 3. And Tropical Coast Zone 3 is the real stage that everybody fucking likes, so the run button doesn't even do anything, so let's move on. Now finally, Tropical Coast Zone 4 presents us with our first roadblock. There's these palm trees in this 2D section that you can very probably tell are very, very hard to get over without the run button. I managed to get the first one with a well-timed homing attack, but the second one, I couldn't get the timing for shit, or the coconut just didn't bounce high enough. So is this where the run ends? Well, no, because surprisingly enough, palm trees are the only surface in the entire game where you can wall run up them by just using a spin dash. I'm being fucking serious. Go to any other wall in the entire game and you will not be able to run up with it with a spin dash. But this wall, only this wall, you can run up with it with only a spin dash. This makes it so we can beat Sick and move on to Frozen Factory. Frozen Factory is the worst level in the entire walk. Why? Simple. The spin dash just does not work. They really wanted you to use the Sonic skate run thing, but you'll never guess what that's activated by. So for most of Frozen Factory, we literally just have to walk it out. Besides that, the only roadblock in Frozen Factory 1 is this wall run thing, but you'll never guess what I did. Frozen Factory Zone 2 sucks because it's a snowball level, but it's completely doable, but annoying as fuck. So I'm just gonna move on. Frozen Factory Zone 3 is the casino level, which initially seemed like it won't present any issues, but then you get to this pinball machine, whose right flipper is activated by the run button, so we can't use it. Beating it with only the left flipper is possible, but I couldn't record me doing that to save my life, so I just took a wing of shame here to move on to the next segment. It is doable though, so I will not count it towards the wing of shame counter. Then we move on to Frozen Factory Zone 4. Frozen Factory Zone 4 is the slowest stage in the entire walk, but it's doable, so we beat Cena and move on to Silent Forest. Silent Forest Zone 1 shows no roadblocks. I don't have any comments or funny clips on it, so let's move on. Silent Forest Zone 2 is also doable. Everything even remotely close to a roadblock is possible by using rhythm. The spy section is a lot more annoying without the run though. Regardless, it's still very much possible. Silent Forest Zone 3 is another ice stage, yay! Like, we didn't have enough of those already. I did beat it though. Silent Forest Zone 4 finally presents us with another big roadblock. Not only does the stage look like it's designed by a person who just went through a seizure, but there's also this drill segment. Remember how I said the drill is now significantly slower and that's gonna bite us in the ass later? Well, this is the moment, because there's these little segments where you have to jump from dirt patch to dirt patch, and there's this one jump that it's impossible to do without the run button. I've tried approaching it high, low, intermediate, sandwich, and nothing works out. So I guess we can't really beat Sonic Lost World without running. If you're playing the PC version, did you guys forget that this game came out first on the superior console, the 3D, I mean the Wii U? No, since the Wii U has this thing called a gimmick pad, it makes sense that most of the gimmicks in this game were tied to motion controls, or touch controls. The drill, thank God, is one of them, and since the game is designed around touch controls, the speed you have when you use the touchscreen is your top speed, meaning we can clear this jump by just using the touchscreen and not pressing the run button, meaning our walk can continue. I did take a wing of shame here, just to prove that you can also do it on PC, but just know that from now on we'll be technically talking about the Wii U version. There's no differences besides this one, so it doesn't even matter. So we beat Soar and we move on to Sky Road. Neo Green Hill Zone 1 is just easy. There's not much that really changes when you don't run other than this wall run segment, which I always use the Wisp anyway. Sky Road Zone 2 is definitely harder without the run button, since the stage is based around quickly maneuvering around constantly destroying platforms. You can assume how not having speed in this stage is inconvenient. Regardless, it is very much doable, so we move on. You can't even run in Sky Road Zone 3, so I'm just gonna skip it. Sky Road Zone 4 doesn't get any harder without the run button. I mean, the stage is already very much an absolute pain to go through, but it is still very much beatable. We properly cringe before Savok and we're on to Lava Mountain. Lava Mountain Zone 1 is a boss rush, so the run button doesn't even make a difference. Lava Mountain Zone 2 is the worst stage in the entire game and I didn't even record it, but trust me, it is very much fucking possible. Fuck this rail stage. Lava Mountain Zone 3, despite being literally the second to last level, introduces hover, which is gonna be very useful for us because what the fuck, Sega? In Sonic Colors, it was the jump button. Now why does it have to be the run button? I don't know what Sonic Team employee was at the board meeting and said, hey, you know hover? The green wisp that alters your height in a very similar way to a jump? Yeah, let's make it activate by a run button. I take what I said back earlier, this is the worst decision made in the game. Unfortunately, that means we can't use hover in this beginning segment, but it is still doable. The 2D segment directly after it though is actually impossible. No funnies, no comedics. The options are hover or wall running, which I don't know if you assumed already, but neither of them are available. Meaning it isn't possible to beat Sonic Lost World without running. Or should I say, without wings of shame. But let's see how many wings it takes us. We have to take one here to beat Cena and move on to the next segment, which is doable. But the next 2D segment after that one has a very similar issue, where the options that are given to us aren't really that good, so we need to take another wing of shame. After this though, the rest of the level is possible, and we move on to the final boss. And the final boss is an auto run boss, so there's not really... It's a little anticlimactic, but there's not really anything here to talk about. With that being said, it is possible to beat Sonic Lost World without running but it takes us 2 winks of shame, or 3 if you're on PC, or 4 if you're bad at pin. So if you guys like this video, don't subscribe. I don't think I'm gonna do these often, but you should definitely check it out. Check other parts of my channel or something. Actually, yeah, thinking about it, subscribe. I might do more of these, but I'm not sure yet. As you can tell, I'm really bad at challenges when the first one I picked was just not running in Sonic Lost World.